Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, February 18th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts, how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm actually offering this evening. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, certainly get signed up for the free live online class. With that being said, I do realize that if you already have something on your schedule, and you just can't quite make it, or if you're watching this, of course, Friday morning and you've missed the event, then it will be recorded, and then eventually once I get it uploaded, I'd be happy to send you a link to it. So if you want to drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, like I said, I would be more than happy to send you a recording of it after the event is complete. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up. And then a couple quick clarification points before I get to the stocks themselves. First off, that number you'll see will be changing as I go through the charts because, yes, the market is still open for a little bit of time. So you're not crazy. You're not seeing things. The market's still open. I like to do these videos when the market's open for a little bit because sometimes we can capture some really interesting, live action as it's playing out. So just, keep that in mind. And then also I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So first stock here, ticker symbol ZOM. Big volume today on this penny stock. And what makes this interesting is the fact, and this may sound backwards, but sure, maybe it's game over, but maybe it's not. And that's the interesting part because, of course, yeah, huge move up, no doubt about that, but it's now pulled back quite a bit. Volume has dropped off quite a bit. But like I said, maybe, just maybe, this is just a little temporary consolidation, temporary almost calm before another momentum storm in the upward direction. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe, no, it's game over. But that's the point of a watch list, right? Because we're keeping things that have interesting scenarios going on that are worth at least watching, in the coming days. So that's really the main question here is, okay, is this consolidation healthy? Is this getting ready to make another surge in the upwards direction? And yeah, that's a very point here being, while there's no guarantees, this is a plausible thought process to have. And an interesting level to watch moving forward from the resistance standpoint, in my mind, is that trend line right there. So again, while nothing is guaranteed, more than valid to think that if the price could get up there and push through that level, then yeah, that could create some additional upside buying pressure. So keep a close eye on that. But yeah, definitely a very interesting situation, especially because I know there's a lot of people that like to play these sorts of penny stocks. So we'll see what happens with it on Friday. Next one here, PLTR, which had a very brutal day after earnings. Have been tracking it. Going to go ahead and get rid of all these lines up there as they no longer are relevant because the price had such a nasty move. But yeah, the chart had a nasty move right off the get-go with a big gap down. But what I would argue is even nastier is that after a very nice bounce in the upwards direction, I mean, look at this. Again, these are 30-minute candles, so just one 30-minute session after the other, all red candles. So essentially just all selling all afternoon long, which has not only brought it down to those lows where it was during the opening 30 minutes, but it's actually now even down below those lows. So just a really rough day here. But what makes this interesting is that PLTR is a pretty well-known stock. There is probably even an element of Kool-Aid involved with it because there's a lot of, I don't know if I'd go as far as calling it a cult stock, but there's definitely a lot of people out there that believe in it. And when you have just such nasty and quite frankly, crazy moves to the downside. I mean, when I draw this trend line, look at how steep I can draw that trend line. That is pretty bonkers. So again, nothing guaranteed, but is it valid? Is it plausible to think that from a trading standpoint, that if the price can level off and then come up through that trend line, that a good, respectable bounce could happen? Once again, I'm not saying that it reverses up to $14, but from a trading standpoint, could a quality bounce occur? I think that's absolutely a possibility, so worth keeping an eye on and watching that trend line. Next one here, AMC, and unfortunately, this one had a rough day today too, as the price seemingly was getting up near that area of resistance, which I talked about previously, up around that area. But with the pullback here, that level is still relevant. It's just not as relevant because the price has got to, obviously, fight a lot higher of a distance now to even get back up there and potentially do battle with that level. So I'll just, keep that extended out and we'll keep an eye on it. But now the more interesting dynamic here is, what's going to go on in the near term. Specifically, can the price get back up above what I would call, the near term level of resistance right there at 1940? And yeah, I should probably note that that 50-period moving average could very well be the key resistance to focus on before really anything else. I would, certainly agree with your logic if you were saying, well, Clay, you got to point out the 50-period. I agree, and I guess that's why I'm doing it right here. But if the price can push up through that 50 period, Then you have 1940 as that, next key level. And then, of course, that level up there at right around 2060. And then if the price does continue to pull back some more, then while it's not anywhere close right now, definitely, what I would consider more of a must-hold area, if the price were to come down to it, would be down around that 1760 mark. But like I said, to be fair now, price isn't anywhere close to it. But overall, nice final 30 minutes, no doubt about that. Good green candle forming in the last 30 minutes here. So is this the start of something bigger headed into Friday? We'll see what happens. Next one, ANGH, which was just an absolute bonkers monster. A couple of these happened today. So who knows? Maybe that's a leading indicator of some more movement to come to these sorts of stocks. We'll just have to cross our fingers and hope that's the sign here. But really, this is all about the question of, okay, is there anything left? Is this the start of something potentially even bigger? Now, think about it. For me to even ask that question, something needs to happen in the first place, right? Which is oftentimes the hardest part, is because something just never even happens for things. But in this situation, something did happen. Again, is it the start of something bigger? It might not be. Maybe it's game over. Maybe this thing's going to collapse right back to where it was. But once again, that's a two-sided coin, because maybe it is the start of something bigger. And as you can see here as I talk, this thing is truly a volatile beast. This candle here, all over the place. But like I said, if this is indeed the start of something bigger, then the level here that I'm very curious about moving forward is going to be right up there at that $32 mark. While 32 doesn't guarantee anything, you got to think that there are some people out there right now that are thinking, nope, that's it, game over. So you got to think that there are some shorts that stepped in up around this area. Maybe they started to accumulate. Maybe they started to go short right around here. But where are those shorts stop loss at? Well, again, no guarantees, but valid to think that the stop loss could be hiding somewhere up here right around 32. So if you get that and you have just traditional breakout players buying, then you have shorts covering up there. That could create, again, plausibly speaking, that could create a lot of upside buying pressure, because nobody can sit here and say that for sure anything's going to happen, because there are no for sures in the market. But 32, in my mind, very, very interesting potential breakout level. And then from a support standpoint, and a level that I'm sure a bunch of shorts are going to be watching and thinking, and again, to their credit, rightfully so. But if that 2250 mark can't quite hold up, that could be a leading indicator of there's going to be more downside pressure to come. But definitely, I think a lot of people will continue to be keeping a very close eye on this one, myself included, on Friday. Next one here, XELA. And what is interesting about this one is due to the fact that, sure, it did move big today, but now it is pulling back. But it's getting close to a very interesting level of support, which has just a bunch of things that happen to all kind of be aligning at the same time. So the first one is just this green line here that I've talked about in past videos. So right around, the 75 cent mark. And then the next thing is you have the very well-known pink line there, which is the 200-period moving average. And you have the very well-known purple line, which is the 50-period moving average. So in other words, you basically have three supports that have now converged right around the 75 cent area. So once again, to reiterate, does that mean that, for sure, guaranteed after this pullback, it's going to bounce back upwards? No. But is it plausible? Is it a rational thought process as a trader to think, I think this thing could find some support at 75 cents? Yes, that is a more than valid thought process to go through. So 75 cents, going to be a very interesting level moving into Friday. And if you like to play these pullback type situations, especially in this price range down below $1, then I definitely have this one on your watch list. Next one here, MRIN, huge volume today, quite a bit of price movement. And this is, again, kind of along the lines of this could be the beginning of the end. Maybe, that last right there was kind of its last breath, last attempted breakout, and it's now just going to continue to drift into oblivion. But what makes this interesting is, big pullback here, but at least now the price is kind of leveled out here. So is this finally the end of the consolidation? Is this thing going to make is the momentum going to return back upwards? And while nobody knows that, it goes along the lines of, at least there's a valid question to be wondering, because something certainly did happen today. But is there going to be more follow through? I don't know, maybe. And if it does, as it proved, it can move very quickly. So the level that I think a lot of people will be watching, and rightfully so, is kind of a potential, confirmation point that maybe the bulls are returning with some strength, right up there at $3.85. So if the price can return back up there, get up through that level, then at that point you have a nice little risk versus reward. And again, nothing guaranteed, but it's certainly a plausible and valid thought process to have. Now, if you like to play pullbacks, then an interesting pullback level would be this former area of resistance right here, which you would expect to act as support down around 350. So that'd be another angle that I'm sure a lot of other people are watching, is seeing if the price does pull back to 350, could it bounce up from it? But in my mind, those are going to be the two main technical levels to watch over the next few days. Next one, NVDA had earnings, and although things went well with the earnings report, as far as the market is concerned, a bearish day from a price perspective. And now you have definitely some key dynamics here that I know I'll be watching. And the first key dynamic is basically there is this bearish pennant here that is formed. So you have, I'm just going to draw this very crudely, but right there you have essentially a bear pennant. Now let me be very clear. Just because a bearish pattern forms does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going down. Just like if a bullish pattern forms doesn't mean that for sure guaranteed the price is going up. So yes, it's bearish, but that doesn't mean that for sure the price is going to go down. But I think the level that a lot of people will be watching right down there around 240, 250. And their thought process is, if 240, 250 can be broken, then I can see the price potentially going down to those lows down there around the 237.50 mark, which are very significant levels. Going back to the history of things, you can see the price has been down there a couple of times and has bounced nicely. But I think a lot of people, both longs and shorts, everybody in between, will be watching these two areas very closely, especially the 237.50 mark. Now, in the event the price does start to bounce back upwards, that initial area of resistance right there is going to be that pink line, 200 period moving average valued at 247.50. And then if the price can really gain quite a bit of momentum, next key level of resistance would be that purple line, the 50 period moving average currently valued at 253.50. But all in all, NVIDIA, always a volatile one, always one that's got respectable volume. So it'll be interesting to see how it continues to play out on Friday. Next one, LCID, and just a cruel day. I mean, because it made a lot of sense for people to be getting excited. Opening 30 minutes, very strong candle. Next 30 minutes, another green candle was forming, and then just like that, pulled back. But the problem is it just didn't stop pulling back. Continue to pull back more and more and more. But the one interesting dynamic here of where the pullback seemingly has stopped for now is, maybe you've connected these dots. Oh, look at it right there. That pink line, the 200 period moving average, what a coincidence. And our chart's perfect. No, nothing's perfect. But are they a tool that has true value as a trader? Absolutely. So again, a quick plug. Get signed up for the free class, all right? I mean, there's power in charts, and that's what I'm going to show you. Why are they such a powerful tool? But point here being is that's going to be a very important level moving forward, is that pink line there, which right now valued at the $28 mark. And again, that's the 200 period moving average. If that level can't quite hold up, then the next area to keep an eye on going to be right there around 27.25. If the price does bounce from that level, then in my mind, that main area of resistance that stands out going to be right up here around $29 and what is that? Yeah, $29.10. But overall, rough day today, very cruel day to start off, acting like it wanted to be all strong and then completely just turn itself around. Next one here, AMD, and a very, very rough day. Not because it was a red day, but from a technical point of view, actually pushed down through a very significant level, which will mean more to those of you that watch past videos. But if you haven't, I've talked about that 114 mark right there, the green line, several times before. I mean, the price had, until today, a great track record of holding strong there. And in fact, even during the opening 30 minutes, you can see the price bounced nicely off that level and then came back up. And then the problem is this afternoon came down and then has just completely pushed down through there, which now makes this a key level of resistance, and that's just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So 114 now going to be that main area of resistance. If the price does try to consolidate out and then turn itself around, you'll want to keep an eye on that. And if that level is broken, then the next very clear level is going to be that purple line again, the 50 period moving average at 116.60. But you can see right there, check it out, twice the price tried to get up through that level and couldn't quite do it today. But again, that level is kind of irrelevant because now first the price just needs to get up above the 114 mark. As far as next potential areas of support are concerned, the very important level now is going to be right down there at, let's see, what is that? The 111 mark. So 111 would put it at basically even lows lower than this craziness that happened a few days ago. But overall, yeah, not a good day. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. Going to go ahead and get rid of that line. Again, a very rough day. And once more, not because it was a red day, but from a technical point of view, and this is pretty crazy because yesterday when I was doing Tesla, to even think that this green line was going to be coming into play seemed pretty crazy because, I mean, the price was way up there. And now all of a sudden, the price not only went down to that trend line, but the ultimate problem is now the price is actually starting to get down through it. Now, would I call that just a full-blown, complete breakdown? It's not, because the price is still within the range of it. But once again, it goes back to we now have something that's happened and worth a valid question. And the question becomes, is today the leading indicator of something? I mean, are the bears going to pick back up more? And is there even more downside pressure to come? And while nothing, like I've said a million times, is guaranteed, it becomes valid to now be questioning the strength and the potential momentum of the bears because of this trendline break. But that's a two-sided coin. Maybe it's a faulty break and it'll snap back up. But again, it very realistically could be the leading indicator of more downside pressure to come. So if that does show up on the next very interesting level and important level from a support standpoint is going to be down here around that $860 mark, which seemingly seems far off. But like I said, yesterday when I was doing this, to even think that I'd be talking about this trend line today seemed seemingly far off, but it has come into play here. But overall, yeah, is the start of something much worse for Tesla? We'll see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10. And once more, if you like what you saw here, if you want to take your understanding of this tool to another level, why it's so powerful, how it can be used, and how it should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. But like I said, if you already have something on your schedule this evening, or if you're just watching it on Friday, it will be recorded. And after I get that uploaded, I would be happy to send it to you. So just drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com. and I will respond back relatively soon. But like I said, it is truly live, so the event literally first needs to happen, and then I need a little bit of time to get it uploaded. But then I'd be happy, like I said, to send you a recording of it. But certainly, if you can make it live, definitely get signed up. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, then help me out with a little bit of communication. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Those two things go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy these top 10 videos. And as long as I know that people are enjoying, I will continue to make them. So definitely get signed up for the free live class this evening, and hopefully I'll see you there.